Hi there, it's Dr. Michelle Medrano. I have another episode of Contemplate This today. Have you ever been criticized? Have you ever felt like someone wasn't seeing you or actually said horrible things to you, to your face, or gossiped about you and it got back to you? No? Okay, well then let's just end that episode right now. I have a feeling that you have though, because I know I have, and I believe that each one of us has experienced moments of criticism, whether it be in a job situation or in a personal relationship. Heck, our kids criticize us all the time if you're a parent. And so there's an opportunity within criticism, a spiritual opportunity if we're willing to take it. What I've learned, because this has been one of the most difficult dances of my personal life, being somebody who always wanted to be the good girl, who always wanted people to approve of me. And so when I was young, I learned very early on to intuit and sense, what do you need from me in order to approve of me? And then I'll just give you that. And that was my safe zone. But what that meant is that I wasn't really being myself. And I wasn't even drawing upon my own personal genius often. I was not going deep enough for that and risking putting forth some of my greatest efforts and greatest ideas and greatest possibilities because I was too obsessed with dancing around other people and attempting to give them what I thought they wanted. And then when they'd criticize it, it was very difficult because they're criticizing the mask. And that hurt enough. And so that caused me to sometimes even then become less willing to be authentic. But what I've learned is that criticism is a powerful opportunity, that there's a dance between me and every person that I come in contact with, every person that I communicate with. There's a spiritual dance that we're all connected and we're all one. And that sometimes there's a realm of people's opinion about me or my actions that comes in a number of different categories. First of all, it's often a projection. People's criticism can sometimes be a projection of their own fears onto me, and I'm willing to look at that. Here's the key with that first step though, that I can't look at that if I'm defensive or if I'm pushing off your criticism, if I'm making you bad or wrong, or I'm being unwilling to at least listen. So that really, truly, if I go back, is the first step. To be really willing to listen. And then to be willing to, in my own heart of hearts, evaluate a criticism. Is it someone projecting onto me their fears, their ideas? Then the other thing that happens is that, are they really speaking an internal voice that I myself have? I would often walk around in my life thinking I was worthless, unworthy of love, unworthy of support. And then when people would mirror that back to me, feel horribly sad and criticized, recognizing that if I am constantly allowing myself to believe something negative about myself, that's going to be fed back to me in very strange ways. So then looking at that. And thirdly, looking at, is someone giving me some valid feedback that I need to consider that I could behave a bit differently, or that what I said might have been insensitive or not very helpful. And so all three of these realms become wonderful growth opportunities. I admit, not always the most fun growth opportunities in the human relationship spectrum, but valuable. And so what I wish for myself, and I wish for you, and for all of us, is that when we feel that we're being criticized or made wrong, when we feel that someone has spoken words that cause us to feel that heat, I get kind of warm in my face when someone's criticizing me, to take a deep breath and to consider following these steps, to be willing to listen, and then to be willing to consider, where might this criticism support me? And sometimes in the example of they're just projecting onto me, it doesn't support me. And that doesn't mean that I turn around and make them wrong. It just means that I get to have more compassion. And if they're feeding back to me my own thoughts, it shows me that I need to do some prayer work and to maybe begin to work with someone to let go of that pattern in my life. And if there's something that I'm being told that I could do that's constructive, that would make my relationships better, I'm all for that. And I have to be humble enough to be willing to do that. So go forth today and be willing to be courageous in the face of criticism. Please leave your comments for me. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for tuning in.